10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
All right, we are live. We're back 1 day later. Oh my gosh, guys. The reason why we're back, I couldn't wait till the weekend because we got some updates on the Sitzer Burnett case, but it's a new case. Didn't take long. We talked about it yesterday. I knew this was going to happen. We're going to talk about the updates of the NAR lawsuit, what just happened, what just dropped. Some big news came out on that, and we're going to talk about that right after this. Oh my gosh. Get ready. Grab a drink. Stiff drink on this one. No energy drinks. But all right, guys, let's just keep everyone updated on the Sitzer Burnett case. We talked about all the players and who's involved and all that yesterday. This just came out yesterday. And I knew this was going to happen, right? We just knew it. If you can get money, if you're a little kid and you can get candy out of your dad by manipulating him, you're going to keep doing it, right? Until it stops. Well, that's what's going on. It's just continuing on. So something big just came out yesterday, probably about the same time we did yesterday's podcast. But Illinois, now we're in the state of Illinois. We were in Missouri, but the Illinois, well, I guess we're depending on what part of the country. It's Illinois here, Illinois out west. But in Illinois, the home buyers, now the sellers were the ones that filed the last lawsuit, but this is the home buyers, guys. They filed a lawsuit concerning commissions, and this is going to be the largest one yet. All right, so let's talk about who the players are, what this is going to be called, because obviously this is going to be different. This is going to be known as the Batten 2 lawsuit. Now, a lot of people will say, Batten, what is that? What is that, a person or what's going on there? Just like any good sequel on a movie, Terminator, Rambo, we got part 2, okay? And I told you guys this yesterday, and if you don't believe me, I'm going to share it with everybody, but this is what I said yesterday. So, but they won, and that's just one state. So that's my worry. They're just going to rinse and repeat, hitting to start moving out to hit. There you go. That's exactly what's happening. You know, it worked once. Now, I'm not agreeing with the decision. Obviously, there is a list of people that are going to be defendants in this case, and I'll show that to you in a second. But a jury of their peers in about 2 hours found them guilty. So guess what? That's case law. I'm not an attorney, so if you're an attorney, comment below. I would like to hear some feedback on this. But that becomes case law. And if in case law, it kind of is precedents to upcoming issues and trials. They'll relate back to it, and they won, so they got that precedence. So what's happening is it's rinse and repeat. So they moved to Illinois. So the lawsuit, really originally this lawsuit was filed back in 2021. So let's talk a little bit about the backstory on this one. The new one was filed on November 2nd, so about 2 days after the jury award on the last lawsuit. It was filed in the district court in the Northern District of Illinois, Eastern Division Circuit. On the 2nd of November, it was released yesterday. People start catching wind on it. The backstory is it was originally filed in 2021. There was a number of complaints, and the lead plaintiff was someone by the name of Maya Batten. And she lives in Tennessee. Okay, she does not live in the state of Illinois, which was interesting. But she's the lead plaintiff in this lawsuit, hence why they call it the Batten 2 lawsuit. Okay. Um, after the lead plaintiff, Maya Batten. So, all right. So let's talk about like the nuts and bolts of it. I got a great article in Yahoo Finance. I'm going to pull up here in a second. But what really kind of the backstory, and then we're going to talk about um, the complaint, the defendants on this. Here, I'm going to pull up the defendants here, and we'll jump into this article. It's the same companies. So, guys, if you work for Compass, Douglas, Elliman, EXP, Redfin, Weichert, Howard Hanna. I mean, some of those I don't think are in the state of Ohio for all my OAR agents. But guys, if you work for those companies, you got to get with your broker. This lawsuit's a little different. I'll talk a little bit about that. It breaks it down here in this Yahoo Finance article, but it's not going away. Guilty or innocent, it doesn't make a difference. In the eyes of the law, you're always guilty until you're proven innocent. But the problem is this is going to be drug out for years. They're going to obviously keep appealing it, but going through the legal process, guys, it's expensive. And I wonder how this is going to affect brokerages, their resources, because this is going to be a long drug out process. They're projecting that this is going to be much larger than the first one. And, as in double, like over a $200 billion settlement. They were awarded 118. We'll see how that shakes out, but they're looking at a over $200 billion settlement on this one. And I've seen it. I saw some clickbait that said $1 trillion. I mean, I don't think that's the case. But again, if you're part of any of these brokerages, like I said, it's the same ones. They're just duplicating what they did in Missouri, and they're going after other states pertaining to those brokerages. Just, you got to have that conversation. It's a hard conversation, but it's going to affect business. I'm telling you, even if you aren't found innocent, which would be weird to be found innocent in one state, not the other, when they already proved it in one state. Again, I'm not an attorney. Let me know if I'm way off base. So that happens all the time pertaining to case law. But be ready because this is not going away. Will be in Ohio at some point. But let's talk a little bit about the actual lawsuit itself. So a little different. I think the biggest thing is with this one is it has to do with buyers. So buyers in the state of Illinois are filing a class action lawsuit. And what they're saying is that when real estate agents, when they list a home, they agree on a seller price, right? And then they agree on a seller commission. That might be 3%, it might be 5%, 6%, whatever it is. It doesn't make a difference. We'll say it's 6%. The seller says, listing agent, I'm going to give you 6% commission to sell this house. Now, what that listing agent does, that's up to them. If they want to share it with other agents, if they want to keep it all to themselves. But what typically happens, if you're not an agent, is they'll say, listen, if you give me 6%, we'll say that's $10,000. I'm going to keep $5,000 for the helping you sell the property. And then if another agent brings a buyer, I'm going to give them $5,000. So we kind of split it down the middle. So even though your listing agent gets 6%, or in this example, $10,000, they don't keep all 10. It's their discretion though. They can say, I'm going to keep 8 and then give 2 to the buyer. Now, this is where this is the meat of the lawsuit is. This lawsuit saying, well, that's not fair, because what could happen is if I'm a listing agent and I say, I'm going to give, instead of a buyer $5,000 commission split, a buyer's agent on this piece of property, I'm going to give them $7,000. So what they're saying is that the buyer's agent, because remember we had issues with the seller's agent on the last one, but the buyer's agent would be enticed or persuaded to steer a client to a particular house that they earn more commission out of, all things being even. Okay. That sounds great on paper, but the problem is, as being an agent is this, like when someone buys a home, this is for the public. When someone buys a home, that is not a rash decision. It's not like buying a car. It's not like buying a motorcycle, or it's not like buying a nice jewelry at the mall. It takes a while. Now if it's a cash deal, which not a lot are, but if it's a cash deal, it could take about 10 days start to finish. If it's a finance deal, meaning you have to get a loan from a bank, that could take anywhere from like 25 to 40 days. So if someone has buyer's remorse, so hear me out. If someone has buyer's remorse, they're going to back out before that month's up, right? Because you're sleeping on it and thinking about it. So if you are a buyer's agent and you're getting a higher commission on a particular property and you're say you are steering your client to look and to buy a particular home, if they don't like that house and it doesn't fit for them and their family and their lifestyle, they're not buying it anyhow. I don't care if the commission's triple or quadruple. You're not forcing a client to buy a house if it doesn't fit their needs and goals. So I think that just doesn't make sense. I'm not saying that they might say, hey, why don't you just take a look at this? But the buyer has certain parameters of what they want to, as in a home, to purchase and buy. And if it doesn't meet their needs, then they're not buying it. If it does meet their needs and you get a higher commission on that particular property, well, then good for you. It worked out. So, but that's the nut and bolts of it. So, um, kind of, just going through. This is in Yahoo Finance. It came out yesterday at 4:30. So this came out right after we posted um, yesterday's podcast. But I'll put a link in the description if you guys want to read it. But yeah, I mean, it's basically the difference is it's the buyer side now that's suing, not the seller side. I think something that's interesting is that there's kind of two parts to this. There's two parts to the proposed lawsuit. One, again, we have the same culprits, defendant brokerages that were in the last one are on this one. Okay, so that's the same. But what they're looking at is two types, basically, um, uh, proposals here. First is nationwide, anyone that has purchased a home from December of 1996 through the present that was a property that was listed on the NAR, which all those brokerages were listed on the MLS, would be available to for damages. Okay. Or the second is anyone who from December of 96 to the present that purchased or indirectly purchased any real estate that was listed on the NAR MLS. So that really, I mean, if you had a buyer's agent or you didn't, it was indirect. I mean, that's probably about everybody, right? Since 1996, what is that, 25 years roughly? I don't know. I can't do my math. I graduated then from high school, so it seems like a long time ago. But they're adding more states to it. So, I mean, this is coming, guys. You if you think now this finance is saying it's a $200+ billion lawsuit. Obviously, they're not going to what they had. What they had with the Sitzer Burnett case. They won. They absolutely won by a jury of their peers. So again, if you're part of the brokerages that are part of that lawsuit, you need to get with your broker and your management team and talk about it. What does that look like? Because one thing I hate is innocent or guilty. It doesn't make a difference. As this drags out, that is a huge amount of resources of legal fee and time fighting this thing. And that's why, Remax and Keller just settled out of court. sometimes that's not a bad thing to just settle and be done with it. So they're not wrapped up in this as well. So I hope this helps. You guys got a little update on this. This is going to progress, and we'll keep you guys up to date what's happening. But make sure you guys like and subscribe. We're on Facebook and YouTube. If you're thinking about getting into real estate, right? This will all work out. Just make sure you do your due diligence and align yourself with a good brokerage. But if you do, 30% off all agents. We have a discount code below to Honduras College. Wonderful college. You can get your real estate license in like 3 weeks with classes. So this is Adam Ashba of Honduras College and broker at Ashba Realty, and I will see you guys all next week. Bye, everybody.